Owning a home is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. And when something breaks, it can feel like the whole day unravels. That's why HomeServe exists. For as little as $4.99 a month, you'll always have someone to call. A trusted professional ready to help, bringing peace of mind to 4.5 million homeowners nationwide. For plans starting at just $4.99 a month, go to homeserve.com. That's homeserve.com. Not available everywhere. Most plans range between $4.99 to $11.99 a month your first year. Terms apply on covered repairs.
This is the Washington Times front page for Monday, April 27th, 2026. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm George Gerbo. The man arrested in an attack at the White House Correspondents' Dinner wrote a manifesto ranting against President Trump and his policies. Jeff Murdoch, Seth MacLachlan, and Susan Ferricchio report 31-year-old Cole Tomas Allen of Torrance, California, sent the document to family members before opening fire near a security checkpoint at the Washington Hilton. Although Allen didn't directly name the president, he outlined his anger over multiple administration actions, including U.S. strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats, efforts to crack down on illegal immigration, and the handling of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Soon after Allen was apprehended, the president was ready to go back to his table and resume the dinner, but he and the Correspondents Association said they'll work to find a future date soon to redo the event. It's the third different assassination attempt at a venue where Trump has been in the last 2 years. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi returned to Pakistan for another round of high-level meetings with government officials there, one day after President Trump told U.S. officials to stay home. Mike Glenn reports the president dismissed a trip by presidential envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner as a waste of time. He said Iran's leadership has been fractured since the start of the U.S. and Israeli war effort. Araghchi said the visit to Pakistan had been very fruitful. He said he shared Iran's position on a framework to end the conflict with the United States. President Trump will be back at the Supreme Court this week with another case asking permission to allow his attempt to curtail temporary protected status, a program that grants migrants protection from deportation. Stephen Dinan reports the justices will hear cases Wednesday involving attempts to end protected status for Haiti, which covers about 350,000 people, and Syria, which covers about 6,000. Lower courts ruled that in both cases, the Department of Homeland Security violated the law by ending protections without giving full consideration to the situations in those countries. President Biden used the Temporary Protected Status Program to shield more than 1 million migrants from deportation. The Trump administration has been pushing to end the status for more than a dozen countries, making those migrants once again eligible for deportation. And finally, data centers in space and perhaps even on the moon could become critical to U.S. national security. Ben Wolfgang reports some companies have started to look beyond the planet to operate data centers and other equipment that are needed to fuel America's 21st century way of life and its increasingly data-driven military. The nation's appetite for data centers for both consumer use and national security is expected to explode in the next several years. Recent research from Goldman Sachs says up to $720 billion in global grid spending through 2030 may be needed to handle the power demand driven in part by data centers. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.